There we go, and we're live. So I had to do the end transition manually there because I've tried. Oh no, it's all gone shit. Phew! I thought I'd stop the loop. Don't worry about that. It was just literally the commands that I'd done to normally get to work. I thought I'd try and cut it off at the pass, sort of thing. Fortunately, I forgot it was still running and all sorted. Anyway. We're down 2 players tonight, unfortunately. One of them is ill. I know he's quite poorly at the moment. He's a bit of a physically stressful day, and it's just caught up with him. So he's off resting up as per doctor's orders. And Ross couldn't make it tonight due to prior engagement. So unfortunately, it's just us 3 idiots today. And we are going to be playing, in case you haven't figured it out, Star Trek Adventures by Modiphius. And this is pretty much my own take on the system. I like to think we're probably closer to the Orville in terms of how things run rather than a serious Star Trek game. So if that's what you're after, you're in the wrong place. Okay, so I've got a bit of brief recap. Let's say before we start, if you're new to the stream, I will be closing the chat once I've finished this introduction, just so I don't get distracted. Any questions or anything else like that, the other players may answer, other people, but I will read them at the break and towards the end. So not that I'm ignoring you, I'm just put it to one side for a little bit. So I'm just going to this one to do. Start with that. Right. Okay, so last time. Well, actually, let's go back a little bit further. On the planet Dr. Moreau, that has been affectionately known as Planet Moreau, where a morphogenic field had caused some semi-permanent changes in some of the crew. Davrin seemed to get off okay. Lieutenant Wacom, the worst that seems to happen with him is weird change in his diet. Seems to be enjoying fringy tube grubs, much to the horror of his fellow helm officer, who keeps finding grubs everywhere. 2 of the officers, though, seem to have a little bit more permanent changes. One, Lieutenant Tolick, who has, even though he has had treatment to return into his normal form, has been notified by the EMH that these changes will eventually start to become semi-permanent until they can get back to Deep Space Nine. Lieutenant Tira, however, had a very unpleasant reaction to something. Her system hadn't fully readjusted, and last time had basically regressed to a feral state. As such, she wasn't available when the Damocles entered the star system and discovered that one of the planets in the star system was shrinking periodically, approximately, it says like once every 24 hours or something. Like, I can't remember the exact time period. This was discovered down to a factor of 2 things. One, a subspace lens in effect that was passing through the solar system and the star system, and would eventually leave. But that, combined with a highly unstable, what can best be described as reverse dilithium. The way it was explained was that normal dilithium focuses any energy it encounters inwards. This particular dilithium was harnessing the energy that it was tapping into from the subspace lens and pushing it outwards. And as it was scattered all throughout the planet, this was causing the entire planet to shrink. Didn't cause any problems to the inhabitants, but it also had a secondary effect as well. This reverse dilithium was highly explosive, and a small dose of it, about sort of an inch across, created a crater about half a mile wide. It was big and unstable, and immediately got a few of the crew thinking, this could be used as an interesting weapon, or even if it's not used as a weapon, combine it with that subspace lens now that we know where it is, that could be very handy to shrink down a crew, or a ship, or a starbase, and more. So we begin. The Damocles has recently left Lieutenant Commander Davrin on the planet that has been, much to the captain's stress levels, Space Australia. He's going to give Lieutenant Ricky a slap for that one. But there needs to be somebody there to oversee their defences, just to make sure that there's no one else decides to take advantage of this highly unstable and unusual phenomenon. Lucky enough, there is another ship that can catch up to them, the Aventing, who is on their own version of the Damocles' mission, dealing with other issues and helping out when they can. And they promise that with their slipstream, they will be able to catch up with the Damocles in a few days, once the matters have been dealt with. However, they're going to go to the Medibay, where Lieutenant Tira has been, shall we say, not so much returned to normal, but definitely physically back to normal, at one least. And the UMH is pretty much now doing his usual thing, scanning, doing the eyes, checking on your regenerated antenna, which is now fully regrown after the transporter incident. In fact, if anything, it seems slightly bigger than it was before. Not by much, but you're an Andorian, you know these things. It's like it's like, you know, if your ear, it's like it feels different to you. It's not, but it's just, you just can't get that feeling that there's something, one side's bigger than the other. So, Lieutenant, the UMH says, any more urges to try and bite my head off?
It depends on how long I have to sit here in the med bay a little.
You did ingest a creature on another planet, Lieutenant. Even though it was based on Alpha Quadrant DNA, you did eat something that disagreed with you. And I will admit, there was a moment when I was, well, let's just say my programming was stumped on how to sort it out. But in my usual genius, I have, for the most part, returned you to your normal state. However, it seems that, like Lieutenant Tolek, until I can get you back to Deep Space Nine, this change may not stick. There may become issues in the future.
I'm sure we will deal with them if they come up.
Yes, we will do my best, but I'm going to give you the same option I did with our Vulcan friend. Is this something you wish for me to continue working on?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of doctors and medbays as you have my experience.
That his eyebrow does rise up with a sort of
But I think it's in the interest of the entire ship, the crew, and its security that you continue working on this.
Very good. I would say also that if you do feel any urges or strange impulses, so before the UMH can actually finish that sentence, there is a small beep from his desk, and he just sort of puts his hand up. It's like, I'll be back with you in a moment. Goes over, starts looking over, tapping away, and you hear a well, whatever I was going to say, Lieutenant, it will have to wait. Evidently, the aforementioned Vulcan I was telling you about has somehow injured himself in a small laboratory explosion and is now being brought here already.
Is he alright?
I believe so, but I don't know why Archie sent me this, but he said that, I'm trying to phrase this, this is Chris trying to phrase this, he won't be fit as a science officer for a little while. And as on cue, the door to the medibay opens, and you see First standing there, and in front of him is Tolek. And you see that he's pretty much holding his head like this at the moment, and you can see that there's blood trickling down his face. First, I brought him to you, Doctor. He required assistance, and it's all. Tonic, trying not to speak, and you can see that it doesn't look necessarily bad, but it's going to need some attention. Immediately, the EMH walks over and says, "We'll continue this discussion tomorrow, Lieutenant." And he just points to Tonic. So he points to First, says, "Get him on the bed." Without even saying anything, First picks up Tonic like a child and just carries him over to the bed.
I will see myself to the bridge, Doctor, and
yes.
see to it that he gets well and 100% well again.
Lucky enough.
I reprogram your program.
He's ignoring you at the moment. He's just focused on Tonic and run. And as he pulls his hands away, you can see that there's what looks like glass has exploded into Tonic's face. But it's like just sort of covering one side, so it's like one of his eyes is sort of mashed up a little bit, and there's like down the side of his face as well, so it's like one ear, one eye. It doesn't look pleasant, but it doesn't look too bad either. And obviously the Vulcan blood it's green, isn't it? It's just like starting to really drip down his face. So, on the bridge. It's the usual shift. Lieutenant Rahl, Lieutenant Ricky are at the various stations. The captain is sitting in his chair, and you hear, oh, there goes our best science officer for the next few hours. So, and the captain's just sort of sitting there going, Lieutenant Wacom?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember that discussion we had about having your snacks on the bridge? And as he says that, he holds up another tube grub.
I haven't brought any on the bridge in several days. They have to be breeding, so...
You say that he's just like, breeding. You need to say we have...
Yeah, organisms that reproduce, that happens.
They came from a replicator. How can they breed? Yes, you know what? No.
It's a really good replication program.
He just hands you the bug and goes, you know what, actually, I don't. And at this point, it was when Tira arrives on the bridge.
Is that a grub?
Yes, it's and he just points at. It's after your little jaunt on the that mutagenic planet. It's I see.
Since when is food allowed on the bridge, Captain?
It's. I thought it'd be okay to relax the duties a little bit. The rules a little bit when it comes to food, but I'm starting to regret that choice. Don't make me regret it. I will allow small snacks as long as they are contained within their own containers, and you can just feel that particular phrase is being pretty much not shouted but said heavily towards the back of Wacom's head, and Ricky's just turning to his I suppose to his right and just looking and going
I just throw the tube grub at Ricky.
It just you seem just like he's trying to be professional and just go do you sort of thing. He's full on not happy. He really isn't. So bear with a second.
Pilots are still at it, aren't they?
Yes, it's they are trying. It's I am now regretting suggesting that Davin stays behind on. He looks at his notes. Space Australia? Really?
What's in Australia?
Look it up in the database later. I just do not have the time to.
Anyway, I'm fit for duty again and report back and
Excellent. Take your station. It's like we're just about to head to the next planet, next star system on the list. I've been in contact with Captain Dax on the venting, and they've managed to eliminate 3 from 20. So
That's good.
it is. I mean, apparently they found on one planet it was a hallucinogenic mushroom, which may not sound that particularly potent, but it seemed to be sentient and mobile.
Why don't we get this fun?
You got mutagens. There was a second planet, second system. Apparently, everything had been destroyed fairly recently. I believe the term is glassed.
That's not as fun.
No, there does seem to be some kind of civilization that remained there. It didn't appear to be Arconian, but nonetheless, there was something or someone there, and it looks like the Bendrazi wiped it off the face of the planet before we could really the universe even. And then on the last one, there apparently was, and I don't know how to put this. It's and he's looking at the thing. So for some reason, the captain has seen fit to classify what was found on that planet. That's very odd. You can see the captain sitting there going, why would they tell us about the other 2 but not that one? Any ideas?
Maybe it's us. Maybe there's a time dilation and we're crashed on that planet, and if we go there, it'll ruin history forever.
As you say that, you can you can almost just hear the
First contact protocol, maybe.
Could be.
Or they found what was this called again? Omega particle, Omega planet, something like that.
That is something that, despite Starfleet's other protocols, I don't think it's Omega protocol. This would not surprise me if it had been something to do with us or them. Imagine. I can't wiggle my eyebrows, Tira. It's just imagine who I'm talking about.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to imagine this because I try to remain calm and emotionally balanced.
Where's Tira? What have you done with her?
And I wrap up my uniform, showing my underarm, and slightly Dominion technology is in there, which gives white substance into the bloodstream. The doctor did that to me. Doctor's orders.
Mm-hmm. I peer around. And
yeah, you've seen.
Are you a boy?
So there's a few. Oh, so you went ahead with that plan then? Interesting. Very interesting.
No, it's...
The captain can see the sort of worried look on sort of Malcolm's face, and so, it's basically, to put it mildly, the doctor discovered that Tira's ongoing treatment needs to be administered periodically for it to take effect. If it is not, then you saw what happened when it happened.
Yeah, if you don't want me to kill you, I have to give my medicine up. That's practically as...
Yes, it's not with the beep beep. Lieutenant Ricky, are you actually going to do your job? Yes, sir. And he turns back around from staring at Tira, trying to give her, I'm not entirely sure if that's awesome or that's disgusting look to his face. It's like, sir? I'm getting distress signal. Yes. It's Ferengi.
Oh no.
It's
Awesome.
it's it seems it's it seems to be very old, sir. Pre-Dominion War old.
So if I remember right, the Ferengi were in the Gamma Quadrant quite early after the discovery of the world.
Yeah, they
were
tried to
basically
get trade relationships very much after the discovery with the different cultures here.
yeah, they were straight away there. It's,
Weren't the Ferengi the first to bring broad news of the Dominion?
officially, yes, they were. It was ironically they were the first to contact the Dominion. It was the trading species. I think it was the Caramea or the Caramina. Or something
Yeah,
like that.
something about wine or berries, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they were the first to say, "Oh, if you want to do business in the Gamma Quadrant, you have to do business with the Dominion," and that's basically how they got into contact with the. They didn't realise it at the time, but the species they contacted was the trader species. If the Vortas are the admins, and the Jem'Hadar are the soldiers, this species is the traders and merchants for the Dominion. I think it was the Caramania or something like that.
It's the Karama.
That's the one. And you behave okay. It's like, yes, it's and the captain's just like, how far away is it from our planned course? It appears to be in the same direction, sir, as in brief stop along the way. Right. I suppose it's going to be interesting to find out what the flipper Ferengi is doing this far into Dominion territory. Very well. Plot of course.
Yellow alert, Cap?
I think it will be fine for the moment. But
Okay.
yes, it's I think yes, yellow alert. But just in case, it is a trap, and it's not a Ferengi. A couple of hours pass. You get news from the Medi Bay that Lieutenant Solek is, for the most part, fine, but he is going to need a little bit of reconstructive surgery on his face. It's not again, it's not enough to do major damage, but it's going to take a little while, because with the mutagenic changes that were made last time, the doctors having to do things a lot slower and more carefully than using a dermal regenerator, because in effect there's two genomes at work in effect now, and it's having to balance the two, because if too much towards like the Vulcan side, then other problems will occur. If it's too much towards the orangutan side, then obviously other problems will occur. So you have to do it very carefully and slowly. So it's going to take a little while for Tolek to heal, but he'll be fine. Dropping out of orbit in this system, you find, for the most part, that it's pretty boring system. There's like 5 planets, and all of them are boring, rocky, lifeless worlds, except for the 4th one, where the distress signal is coming from. So what are you guys up to? What are you doing? What do you want to do?
Scan, our scanner should give us a clear log from which exactly the signal is coming from, right?
Yes, you can certainly do that, and obviously, if because there's only 2 of you today, I'll say whoever's doing the rolls, if it's the ship, the other person can roll for the ship. Okay, just to sort of keep it fair that way. Right, so you need to narrow down. I'll show you to reset the. Where's it gone? So I need to reset the. That's it. And
I like this. Set to 0.
Always start with at least 2 threat, always. So, who's going to scan and who's going to roll for the ship?
I can scan. It would make sense from the console Tira's on.
So yeah, basically, who's got the highest reason in science?
I'm a 10.
I'm an 8.
So it'll probably be Tira. Probably best bet to get to Tira to roll that one.
Things only kind of make sense to roll.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, you can scan it, then you end up accidentally scanning the star by mistake.
It's pretty star though.
Yeah, it's a sort of orangey. Okay.
What is the ship roll?
The ship rolls sensors and science.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. You narrow it down to the pretty near the equator of this fourth rocky planet. In fact, calling it a planet is putting on airs. Really, it's just basically a giant rock. There's no atmosphere. There's no weird anomalous readings. There's just a crashed Ferengi ship.
Is it a big ship or just a typical shuttle?
It's a bit bigger than a shuttle, but smaller than a Decorer. So,
Okay.
So it's you'd estimate. Obviously, I don't know enough about Ferengi ships, so I'm going to say you'd estimate that the crew was probably around 20, maybe 30. So if you had to have, say, a guess, probably about the same size as one of the Damocles' vectors.
And how many life signs to we detect, or do you want momentum for that?
You're gonna have to use momentum for that one.
Okay. Then I would, if you're okay with that, Brian, I would spend
Yeah,
2
go ahead.
momentum. How many life signs, and are they all Ferengi?
All the life signs are Ferengi, or I should say life sign is Ferengi, because there's
Only one left.
There's only one life form left.
Okay. Can we beam them up, or do we need to get on with a shuttle?
I think there's no way. I mean, it's entirely up to you. You can either beam down, or I mean, if you take a shuttle, you could land on the planet. It doesn't look like there's any problems. You're not setting us any like anomalous readings in the rather joke of an atmosphere. It just means if you do take a shuttle, you're going to have to go EVA to go from the shuttle to the thing. But it looks like you could transport to the ship. Doesn't seem
Or
to
we
be-
just do the obvious thing and hell the Ferengi.
Got it. So it's the captain's just like,
I mean, we got a call, maybe?
well done. See, this somebody remembers Starfleet protocols. Right. Lieutenant Wacom, if you would please, could you hail the ship?
Hailing.
To hail the ship would be control engineering and then communications and engineering for the ship. But no, this is an older ship. It's not a newer one, so you're having to make sure you send the right communication protocols and things like that.
Communications and engineering, right?
Yes. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I'm still not able to figure out why that null system thing comes up. It still registers the right amount, but it's just I've never been able to fix that problem. So don't worry too much about it. Yeah, it's just strange. There is a. Who's that?
Captain, your turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. And
Hello. It's
so the captain's just like, oh damn, I forgot my first officer wasn't here. This is why I had a first officer, so why have a dog and bark yourself? Anyway, this is Lieutenant Captain Pro of the USS Damocles. Federation? Yes. Oh dear. And the call is terminated.
Curious.
Yep. It's Ferengi.
Well, Tira, how are you feeling for a little excursion down to the planet? I say,
Can't you just beam him up into and a holding sail.
I could do. Yeah. It's up to you. It's up to you. Do you want to beam him up? See, and you can see the captain's like, I just can't be bothered to decide right now. And just you can see him just doing like this. He sort of closes his eyes and like he's spinning his hand. Right? You see him do this a few times when he wants to make a decision, but he can't decide who it was. He wants to. Just goes and he points to
the laziest captain in Starfleet.
His crew gets the job done. As I said on Twitter, they are the luckiest idiots in Starfleet. It's like, Tira, very well, you decide. Do we beam him up, or do we leave him down there?
Is this ship shielded?
No, there's no shields. It's running on minimal power.
Then let's beam him up directly onto the bridge.
Oh, this should be fun. Oh, I can use the security fields on the bridge. I've never done that before. Excellent. Right, if you would...
Rawl looks like he's gonna say something and then turns back and doesn't say anything.
You was about to say something, Lieutenant?
Yeah, you can't just beam someone off of their ship.
Yes, we can.
Why?
Yeah,
Why
we have the power to do so, yes.
Yes,
But we can't prove they've done anything wrong, and beaming them out of their ship without their opinion is bringing them into custody, and you can't do...
They're sending a distress signal.
And his communication cut it off very quickly. I'm sure he's in the greatest stress right now.
He clearly cut it off himself.
If he proves to be truly innocent, then we will gladly send him back.
And leave him alone on that deserted, unlivable planet.
Is Wacom doing that as well?
Yeah.
As you just feel
He's muttering about the ninth guarantee and like the right to not say anything.
And as you're doing that, he's just like you just feel like Lieutenant Ricky lean over and pat you on the back and go, "Welcome to the Damocles." It's best not to think about it too much. The rules are more sort of guidelines for us.
I don't think the Judge Advocate General would agree with that.
Look, the JAG doesn't have to know.
And I don't say that in a threatening way.
Oh, no,
he says that like in an exasperated way.
I mean, we are not telling him, are you?
No, as I say, if he is perfectly innocent, I will gladly beam him back with any assistance he requires.
I gotta start a paper.
I'm sorry, what?
A paper, like a journalistic news outlet.
You just get this feel this weird look like, why? Anyway, Tira, is it kind to beam up our guest?
Of course, right?
This is control and. Hey, look, this is the crew who handed over a traitor to the Romulans. Okay.
I can't wait for the Tolek versus Rawl ethical debate episode.
So I'm just making a note. That's a good one. Debate on ethics.
Which is one of my focuses.
Yes. Okay, so to transport him up, obviously you've got to get a lock on, so this is going to be control engineering with the ship's sensors in engineering. So as some Tira is doing the beaming,
I would like to use one momentum because we have it.
I'm going to say this is a difficulty 2 because
Even better reasons.
yes,
We don't need to beam him over without one of his lobes, do we?
Yes, you want to make sure. Ooh, that would be very bad.
Well, we already have 3 successes.
That's fine. Do you want to roll? Go on, roll
Well,
some complication. Complication.
No.
What is the ship wrong?
Oh, sorry, sensors and engineering.
Okay.
Nice. You get a perfect lock on. The security field appears on the bridge, and within it there's the distinctive beam, and inside it a rather dishevelled, dirty-looking Ferengi stands in there, just starts blinking. Ah, oh dear. Hello. It does the thing that Ferengis do, like. It's like, I see. Ah, yes, Federation. Oh, yes. Am I glad? Oh, was that you on the thing? Oh, I thought it was a Dominion playing a trick on me. Well, aren't I a fool? Yes. Hi.
You are being rescued. Please don't resist.
I'm not resisting. I am actually very, very, very glad to see that it's the Federation and not the Dominion. You do have
Why?
Because this is how can I put this? You see, yes. See, can I ask what year is it? It's 2382, by the way.
Thank you.
Well, we would need to start it.
Well, he's going by the year, that's why. So don't ask me to try and convert what the star date is right now, because that shit is not easy.
Yeah, but we gave him the exact star date.
Okay, it's
That translates to 2380.
yeah, it's the 2382. You can, as you're saying, giving him like the star date, you can see you calculating in his brain that wait, that means 10 years. I have been on that rock for 10 years. And it's rare to see a Ferengi angry like this, like full on. You can see his lobes starting to flash, like, I am going to kill that green worm when I catch up with him.
Which green worm?
Grebe
Worm?
worm.
Ah,
Grebe worm, my brother. You my my so-called first officer. When I find him, I am going to tear him, and I am going to tear his lobes off and make him eat them.
why don't you tell us the whole story from the beginning?
Well, I'd love to, but you see, he's pointing to the force field. I'm feeling a bit confined. Why can't I smell tube grubs?
Because they're excellent.
You have fresh tube grubs. I mean, you seem to have
Fresh is a matter of opinion, but we have two.
Am I allowed to claim asylum if I can have some of those? I haven't eaten proper tube grubs in a long time.
Let's make a trade out of it.
Now you're talking my language.
You get some tube grubs,
Yes.
fresh clothes, a shower,
Oh, yes. I love
And-
relationships.
you don't lie to us, and you tell us the whole story, and afterwards we decide what we do with you.
I am offended that you believed I would lie to my
Isn't there a
present
rule of
rescuers.
acquisition about lying when it's profitable?
It just sort of blinks. It's like, obviously the Federation have been studying the rules of acquisition in my absence. Very well, I agree. And he nods and does that really toothy grin that the Ferengi do.
I wait for the captain for a nod or something like that.
The captain just nods.
I lower the force field down.
And he just stretches out. And you can see him just go. Does Rackham have some of the tube grubs with him still?
No, I haven't brought any onto the bridge in several days. After the complaints.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I.
he's like, why am I getting the smell of tube grubs from you, Bajoran?
Because they taste good, and I had some.
Are you part Ferengi? You don't look it. Well, maybe around the nose, but
It's part spider.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sitting down and like looking over my shoulder at. But yeah, spider.
Yeah,
You know,
he's just like,
8 little legs, maybe not so little. And I just look at Ricky.
Ricky's just like, he's just focusing. He's just like, I'm ignoring him, I'm ignoring him, I'm ignoring him, I'm ignoring him.
Can we please know your name?
Yes, of course. How rude of me. I am Damon Lux of the Golden Lobes.
Damon, please step by to the conference room. We have a replicator there.
Of
Where
course,
can you get your crops and we can talk?
fantastic. So, it's going to cut to about half an hour later. Damon I almost said Diamond then. Lux has got himself a reasonable facsimile of Ferengi clothes. It's not up to his usual standards. It's not like, the rich silks that were obviously he had before, but he is sitting in the. Sorry, it's my phone. Hang on, sorry. This could be an emergency. Sorry about this.
It sounds like a fire alarm almost.
Yeah.
Poor Ricky. I need to. I need to throw him a bone. At
Sorry
some
about that.
point.
It's just it's kind of bad, but it's not bad for me. If you see what I mean, it's something that justified throwing me. So it's not my problem. It's just one of those sort of things I can't really talk about on stream. So it's not directly affecting me as such, but it's just I might be a bit distracted. So. Okay, where was I?
Damon Lux has this new clothes, and we are now meeting with him.
Yes, in the conference room. About sort of like half an hour later, he's tucking into this really big bowl of the tube grubs, and the captain's sitting there. It's like just like, anytime you're ready. Anytime. Like yes, it's like more. Oh, they're not as good as the real thing, but they are damn close. It's like you have good taste, Bajoran. And he's just chowing down. And it's like, right, well, so it's a deal, is a deal, is a deal. What is it you
But
want?
only between Ferengi. And I'm staring at him.
Like, are you sure you're not part Ferengi?
I've had dealings with your people.
He has pretty big ears for a Bajoran.
Yes. Yes, you may have some Ferengi ancestry. I'd get one of those marvelous doctor of yours to double check your genetics. There may be something going on that you don't know about.
Captain, I think we found our personal age for the Damon.
That sounds marvelous idea, Tira.
And Tira just tips her a freshly regrown antenna.
It's like, well played.
Mental note: Tira goes to transporter room 2 every.
Like, well, okay, where to start? It's I'm assuming that what I'm about to tell you doesn't leave this room.
Of course.
It's you see, and there'll be no repercussions from the Federation from what I'm about to tell you. His voice actually goes up a slight octave as he says this.
That depends on what are you going to tell us.
He's really sort of. It's well. Okay. Well, you could leave me here, so I need to get back to Ferengi. I have nothing else, and then at the very least deal with that and he says this rude word in Ferenginese that is pretty much, it's an insult in Ferengi directed towards his brother. Well,
very small lobe.
The loser's translation is he has negative lobes. Inverted lobes. Yeah, it's a very grave insult in Ferengi. It's almost up there with insulting his movie. Well, we were. Yes, you see. Well, do you remember reports of some Federation-grade replicators going missing just before the beginning of the Dominion War? You see he's shrinking into his seat as if he's trying to make himself look small and inoffensive. He even does that sort of look.
I seem to remember a case of the Maquis stealing some industrial-grade replicators before.
Yes, well, they stole some, and some got stolen from the Maquis. Let's just say that. And I'm about to say this. We were going to sell them to the Dominion.
What?
You see, it's immediately don't worry, don't worry. We never got to the Dominion. They're still on my ship. That's not the problem, no. Well, that is a problem, but it was how I was able to survive for 10 years. I don't think I had 10 years worth of rations, do you?
Go on.
They are? Ah, yes. I gift them to you as a thank you for saving my life. I was bringing them back to the Federation. Yes, this is how. Yes, I was bringing them back to the Federation. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? And you see, he's just looking around the.
Just try something else.
They're not damaged. They're just slightly older models. They are still on my ship. They are in perfect condition. However, the rest of my ship isn't flight capable.
What happened?
My brother, my first officer, we were going to take a shortcut through this nebula, and the captain goes, "What nebula?" And types out some coordinates, and you immediately recognise that in the nebula is the coordinates of one of the planets, or one of the systems that is on the Bendrazi list. You can see that this path that the ship would have taken through the nebula was taking it reasonably close, or would have taken it reasonably close to this system, but it wasn't going to stop there. It's just like going to curve around, take a shortcut through this nebula, pat the other side, get deeper into like proper Dominion trading post territory. Yeah, so we got within scanning range of that nebula, and we picked up something from one of those systems, and then the next thing I know, my ship was starting to crash. To begin with, I thought it was. I thought it was a weapon system or Dominion trap or something. But I went over the records, and it seems that just before the ship crashed, my brother decided to take one of the shuttles and head deeper into the nebula, and then he sabotaged the ship for it to crash. Killed all the crew except me. I want to find my brother. I would do anything you want if you help me find him and bring him back.
Do you know exactly what happened to your ship in the nebula that caused it to crash?
Oh no, it was sabotage. There was no mistaking what happened. It was
Okay, so nothing in the nebula affected your ship.
No. That's the funny thing. To begin with, I thought it was something to do with the nebula, like a weapon system or something.
Or like an ancient computer virus? I'm sure.
It's like, yes, yes, that did cross my mind. Something like that. Yes, I don't know what you're talking about. You can see that the captain Pro is looking at Tira and giving you the stink eyes. Like he's going, don't want to talk about that kind of.
I just say ancient computer virus.
No, but he's like, it's like, okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, I was able to sort of track his trajectory, but I don't know if he went there to meet anybody or if there was, another ship meeting him, or if something happened. I hope nothing happened to him because I want to rip his lobes off and make him. And you see, as he says that, he's really gripping the bowl of tube grubs like tight right now. It's, as I say, it's unusual to see a Ferengi angry, but this dude has been having 10 years worth of anger, and now he's finally gonna deal with it.
And only your brother went with a shuttle into that nebula.
Yes, it just from what I can tell, he saw something there, and then not long after sabotaged the ship, and left. I have no idea what he saw there, but it must have been worth it for him.
Why didn't he just kill you?
That's a very good question. My brother is many things. I don't believe he is a deliberate murderer. He's a scumbag, he's treacherous, he's backstabbing. He is a true Ferengi. But
He murdered your entire crew.
I don't believe that was on purpose. That is one thing I will say about my brother. He may be, well, a scumbag, but he is not a murderer. At least not deliberately. I believe, well, I like to believe, it sort of goes a bit pensive for a moment, that he sabotaged the ship in such a way that we could land, or at least make it through the nebula, but I don't think he thought things through properly. But I
So you might say his greed took over.
Yes. With a bit like that, I was proud of him.
One last question.
Mm-hmm. And again, he's just stuffing his face now with like the chew grubs, like he would like like Cheetos or something. Say that. Mm-hmm.
Are Ferengi still interested in archaeological artifacts?
Oh, but of course, anything of value is definitely.
So all stuff would be valuable to a Ferengi still.
Many things have been valuable. It's objet art, technology. I don't deal with weapons though. No. I'm
Only with stolen replicas, replicators, I know.
have my standards. I do not deal with weapons or slaves. Stolen goods. Oh, well. Again, he does that.
I know, it's not stealing if you're not getting caught.
Exactly. See, you have got it exactly right. We would have brought that money back to the Alpha Continent. It would have benefited everybody, and maybe the Dominion War might not have happened if we had got our, got the Federation. I'm going to stop talking now. He just sort of looks. Captain then says, right.
Cross to the nebula, Captain?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
course to the nebula, Captain.
Oh yes, very much so. And yes, I think Rackham, I believe. In fact, why don't you show him our friend here, your bridge station, and your duty and things like that. Keep an eye on him for a moment, and you can see that the captain's pretty much just going. Not to Wacom as he looks in that direction, like he's just going.
Right, yeah, come on this way, Damon. I will show you.
He offers you some of the tube grubs as he's walking out. They're really very good, especially with that spicy, crunchy stuff on them.
Yeah, the door closed. You're gonna have your moment, but I want to have a moment with Damon after you're done in the hallway. So do.
Door closes. It's one hell of a coincidence, isn't it, Tira?
A very hell of a coincidence. I think a Ferengi would do anything to get some Iconian artifacts on their hands.
Yes, that is a horrible thought. Especially if it turns out that this is the gateway, or some other Iconian outpost. But
and Starfleet would have heard if a Ferengi came back with Iconian stuff through the wormhole and would have sold us.
Exactly.
So chances are high that the brother of Lux didn't have made it back.
Or he's still there.
Maybe he's in Andromeda now and can come back.
Yes, I really hope it's not the Andromeda Gateway. I know this is going to sound stupid, but if it is, this is going to cause us a lot of problems. We've got no choice, have we? We have to investigate.
Yes. Also, I know this sounds a bit far-stretched, but I don't think we should sue the Daemon for the replicators. He has been stuck on a planet for 10 years, and we could use that to our advantage to the Ferengi Alliance.
If that is something that I could argue with Starfleet, that he in effect has already served his sentence and the replicators are still intact. He has been helpful, but keep an eye on him just in case.
I will add a security detail to keep an eye on him.
Good. We cut to the corridor with Wacom and Lux. Just sort of plodding down the corridor back to should we say the mess hall, for example.
Cool. After the door closes behind us and we go one or two bulkheads beyond, I'm going to stop. This is very anti-roll. I'm going to shove him up against the bulkhead.
Just drops the tube grubs.
And a very different demeanor than I usually have. I'm just going to tell him, you may not have dealt in weapons and slaves, but I have met your kind who do. It was not a good experience for me, and if I see you do anything against this crew, well, remember rule of acquisition number 125. You can't make a deal if you're dead. And I just shove him in front of me and keep walking.
His eyes go wide as you say that. He's just, duly noted, Starfleet. Duly noted. And he's actually gone very slightly pale at this. He just sort of scoops up and just he's walking with you, but he's really trying to keep away from you at the same time. Just walking down the corridor. Nice. Why is there a Jem Hadar on this?
Oh god, yeah. First
of all, when the other just walks past, you just.
And when they walk by, I'm perfectly congenial.
First gives you a sort of he gives you his I've been practicing smiling grin.
Oh yeah.
Keep working on it first. It's doing good. You're doing great.
He looks at the Frank. He's like, "Hello." Oh, and Lux just flicks eyes between First and Raoul. He's like, "I think I may have made a very bad mistake coming on board this ship."
He had no say in it.
You see, he's just very carefully walks into the mess hall and just sits down with what remains of his tube grub and just very slowly is putting them into his mouth. A little while later, probably sort of again about another hour or so, the ship, the Damocles, enters the nebula. Now, as you all know, upon entering most nebulas, Starfleet vessels' shields don't tend to work too well in nebulas. It's something about the ionizing radiation and the particles and all the other nonsense that goes on in nebulas that basically means shields are pretty much useless. But the Damocles is still a tough ship. But she is now unshielded. But as you're getting closer to the unnamed system, it doesn't even have a name on it. It's just Planet 4 on the list. It's just doesn't even have a designation. Just a set of coordinates. Your sensors scanning. You find one planet orbiting around a. I'm not sure what the proper class is. I'm going to say it's a blue star. Whatever the class is of the blue giant stars. But from there you get another ping start to come from the planet. Very faint, garbled, old, and it's another Ferengi distress signal. It's very weak, to the point where, pretty much outside of the system, you would not, especially with the nebula, you would not be able to pick up on it. It is extremely weak. The Damocles has got decent sensors. If it was been like one of, let's say, the Intrepid classes or a ship dedicated to science, yeah, you would be able to pick this up from outside the system. But the Damocles isn't designed for that. She's essentially an engineering warship. But as you're getting close, Ricky, sir, somebody with working brains, can you? He just waves you all over. Waves one of you over. Someone. There's something.
Was it just Ricky?
This planet, it's entirely covered in liquid.
Those planets have been known.
True, but it's this planet's covered in Latinum.
1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Oh!
Wow!
It's even though he's not on the bridge, there is Damon Luck just like for the briefest of moments, his lobes just like ding 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 ding. Like, no, there can't be. Just goes back to just poking around at his soup that he's having now and keeping stink eye on back on.
Now everything makes sense.
Yes, the entire planet is covered in liquid Latinum. How?
Cheer up the captain.
He seems ready. This is Captain Pro. What have you discovered?
We are rich.
And so it's not the you know what?
We know why Lux's brother went here.
And,
We've discussed a planet entirely covered with liquid Latinum.
Oh, that's nice. And the communication ends.
3, 2, 1.
Door opens. What? And that's we're going to take a little break for the moment because I need to try and sort out what's going on with the phone call earlier. It's not going to be a major problem, but so we'll be back in a bit. Let's quickly did that one. Oh, yeah, 16 months, you crazy man. Okay, so yeah, we'll be back in 5 minutes, and see you then. Hello, we're back. Yeah, I was just sorting out, explaining to the guy what that phone call was about. It's nothing I'm really comfortable talking about on stream, but it's not a major problem. But it may mean I get a little bit distracted for the rest of the stream every so often. So they know what's going on. I'll be fine. It's just sometimes life throws you a curveball. Let's just say that. So, as we had before the break, the crew of Damocles have just discovered, via a Ferengi trying to hunt down his brother, a planet that is covered in liquid Latinum. And we're gonna cut now to the bridge where you're in orbit, and you can see that the planet's there, and from a distance it just looks sort of almost like a. If you've ever seen what liquid mercury looks like, that's kind of what this is. What you just see is, even from orbit, you can see that there are massive waves of this Latinum going across the planet. There is no visible landmass anywhere. But you're still very faintly picking up this very faint, from around the sort of North Pole area, Ferengi distress signal. The captain's just standing there.
Before we beam the brother up, I have one question, Captain.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tira.
How do we keep two Ferengis from talking about that kind of planet?
I don't think the other one we've got already knows about this. There's one way to find out. Bridge Lieutenant Wacom.
Sir?
Could you bring our guest up to the bridge, please? Don't say anything to him about why, but just bring him up to the bridge as soon as you can. And just bridge out. And just turns. I want to see what his reaction is to this. Keep an eye on him, would you?
Of course.
See if he's acting genuine or if he's trying to pull a fast one.
I'll try to do my very best.
I should hope so. It's a shame. Our resident Vulcan isn't available, or even Davrin. He'd be much better at reading people. That's no disrespect to you, Tira, but we all know your talents lie in, well, blowing shit up.
I don't only blow yes, Captain.
I thought so. That is why you are here. That is why you are in the position that you are on this ship. So, very quickly cut to Wacom just after the communication from the bridge.
I'm being perfectly lovely, the way I normally.
His attitude towards it, whereas before he was sort of like, oh yes, Federation, yes, brilliant, marvellous. Now he's sort of anytime that you even move, he just sort of flinches a little bit, and you can see he's finished off the tube grubs, but he's even when he stands up straight for Ferengi, he was never a tall guy, a bit stocky, but sort of average height for a Ferengi. Probably about the same height as Quark, give or take an inch or so. Slightly bigger lobes, but now he's got the his gear on. You can see that he definitely had wealth in his time, but not at the moment. Not right now. But he is really trying to make himself look small and inoffensive. Right at the back of the turbo lift, where he can keep an eye on you. And then eventually the doors, after a brief pause, the doors to the bridge open. Wacom, if you would bring our guest in.
I usher him onto the bridge.
He tries to do that thing where he sort of slides through the door sideways without touching you whatsoever, and just.
And I'll try and keep an eye on him and try to note in my mind every little expression or even micro expression.
Okay, this will be. I'm going to say this is going to be definitely a security role. This is,
And probably inside.
yeah, I'm going to say inside because you're studying him. You're trying to work out what he's doing.
And can we do that one roll for the entire scene?
Yes, yeah.
The difficulty?
This is going to be a 3 because he's a Ferengi, and Ferengi are generally pretty good at hiding their. If they want to be, how to put it.
Does my interrogation focus self?
Actually, no, I'm going to say yes on this one. I'm going to say yes because you're really sort of pretty much going mentally speaking. You're studying him, you're staring at him. He's not looking at you, so he's not really opposing it. So you can really put your full attention to him.
And I used 3 momentum.
Okay, nice.
Because I want to succeed.
Good.
I agree.
Good. Nice. No complications.
It worked.
It's he from the second his eyes saw what was on the screen. Sorry, I've got to check something. So I'm getting an error pop up on my screen. There we go. So Discord being an idiot. That's nice, isn't it? From the second he saw what was on the view screen, his whole demeanour changed. You believe it to be genuine, whereas before he seemed to be sort of slightly scared of something or someone when he stepped onto the bridge. He's just staring. Excuse me, you there, Andorian. I know I spent 10 years on a rather shithole of a asteroid, but my eyesight was never the greatest in the first place. But is that accurate? Is that what I think it is on the screen? That's not like a projection or a simulation or one of those Q beings having a bit of a laugh.
It is a reason why a brother would crash his entire ship and kill his crew for.
So it is a planet of Latinum.
I'm not saying it isn't.
And he just faints. He just like,
Captain, I think his reaction is general.
I believe so. You see the captain sort of get up and very gently, not maliciously, just sort of prod him with his toe. Just like, someone wake him up. Back on, if you would, please. I told you the second half was going to be whack on focused.
I just, yeah.
It's like, I just had a marvellous dream. I got rescued, and then there was this Bajoran who said he was a spider, and then I found this planet of love. And the first thing, as he sort of comes around, he sees whack on his face. Like, you see, he's flicking between. Like, he really starts rubbing his ears now with both hands. He's like, oh my, yes.
Could you do that in private, please?
You can see he's pretty much biting his knuckles now, like trying to stop me. He's making really unintelligible noises and like just pointing at the screen, going.
Damon, one question. One little question from your keen Ferengi insight.
They like flick the top of his ear.
Thank you, I needed that.
Wouldn't that ruin the entire Latinum currency if Starfleet would flood and mine this entire this planet.
It doesn't matter. We could just take it for what we wanted. It's a, and he's like, it's a planet of covered in Latinum. Granted, it's in liquid form, but it's Latinum.
You know there are planets where diamonds are raining, right?
There's just a flat line on his eyes right now. It just keeps getting better and better. Well, most of it.
Apparently aren't much of extras, aren't they? I asked, Tirasha's asked into the bridge.
Just, you have to let me go down there. At least get some. At least get a sample, please, please, please. And he drops to his knees. For some reason, he's just like looking at everyone on the bridge again. Please, I am begging you. I will give you whatever you want. Whatever I have, it is yours. I need at least a cup. It's a barrel's worth. No, a bucket. Please, 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 please. And he's like really full on, like begging.
I thought you were trying to find your brother.
He makes a rude gesture and a sound which translated into the common tongue is fornicate. My brother. There's enough Latinum there to keep me going for the rest of my life.
You know that if we beam you down there, just like that you asked for, you will die.
You see, like, dying in a lake of Latinum, being rich. Dying in a sea of Latinum, being rich. You can, it's just, and this goes on for a few minutes. You can see he's really struggling with himself. It's like death, untold riches, death. He's really don't. That is a cruel thing to say to a ring. You know, you present him with the ultimate treasure, as if the divine treasury itself has been made manifest in this realm, and you're telling me I'm not allowed to go there. You are cruel. You are very cruel. Just waving his hand at you. Oops, I think we lost Andres. Oops.
I think you're right.
Yep. Either that or he's keeping very perfectly still.
In the middle of a sneeze.
So, technical difficulties. That's what I need to do. I need to create a technical difficulty screen. Now that I've got the it's just been one of those nights, really, isn't it?
You can make it one of those engineering reports.
Yeah, that's what exactly what I'm going to do. It's for those that don't know, I found a template that allows me to create like title cards and reports cards and things like that, and they look real. Oh, it's all gone weird again.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's messaging me on Twitter.
Yes, there was apparently Germany was getting some power cut issues in some places, so I think that's what was going on. That's probably why. Okay.
I just messaged you in Discord.
Okay, thanks. It's just trying. Okay. There we go. Messages are coming through. His internet is not right. Cool. It really has gone weird. It's just a zoom in on Brian's face right now. Okay. I'll give it a couple more minutes. No, don't do that. No. This didn't do what you threatened to do earlier. That's disgusting. Right, let's see if this works. Okay, let's go back onto that one. Right. Yeah. Right. Let's open and see what the. So, how's everyone doing? How's your weekend been so far?
Well, good. I just got an extended order, so.
Nice. I've had an interesting day. Nice day so far. Good. It's been very warm. So I'm sweating. What's up my back?
Like I said
anyway,
before, it's only
anyway, as we're saying,
1 or 2 minutes.
We're back. Back to the plot.
Sorry.
Damn your internet.
Damn, curse your son was inevitable
So I
betrayal.
thought it was going to be mine that was going to conquer. Oh, it still might do, so don't jinx it, Chris. So, you were saying, what's the last thing you got?
The last thing I got was I asked him that he knows that if you just beam him down there, he will die, and he was Lux was just thinking, drowning, Latinum, drowning, Latinum.
Yeah, that's basically what was going through his head. It's like, practically infinite wealth, death. Enough to make me the Grand Nagus for the rest of my life, death. And every scenario was going through his head. You seem to... But that is a cruel decision to try and make a Ferengi to decide something like that. But look, there's got to be something down in the ship at least, or something. I mean, I'm assuming my brother's shuttle is down there. I have to get at least a sample, please. And again,
No.
you just dropped it. Please, 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 please. And he's now wrapping his legs around two of their things. Please, 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 please. Like, I beg you, I will give you anything you want. Anything that I have, obviously.
Let me think about it. How about no?
Meanwhile, there's this chuckle coming from the captain who's like,
And you can let loose my leg now unless I do very hurtful things
oh
to
yes,
you.
of course. And again, he drops his leg and starts doing that kissing on the floor. It's like, oh, your shoes a bit dirty. I'll clean that for you. Yes. He's really being a typical Ferengi who's, well, as far as he's concerned, you're the person who can decide whether or not he can beam down to a planet of Latinum.
Yes, doesn't when you need
So, meanwhile, Davin's back on planet Australia, just like getting slightly bongoed. Tolek is resting in the medibay.
Captain, permission to beam the Damon's brother up.
Okay. That he's just looking down, and you can see that the Ferengi's still like, please. He's now full on the floor. It's like, look, I'll give you. I got this necklace.
What? You'll give us Latinum? I've broken the Ferengi, yes.
He just. I don't have anything to offer, do I?
No.
Crap.
And we still have to.
Yes, I might be able to give no, that's about 10 years too late.
And we still have to decide if you go to a Federation prison or not. So behave.
I think I figured out what's just happened. I died, and I've been sent to the. What do they call it?
The Vault of Eternal Destitution.
Yes.
A Vault of Eternal Destitution.
I've been sent to the Vault of Eternal Destitution, and I'm being tormented by all the. Yes, that's it. I must have died. Yes. I really have offended the divine treasure, haven't I? It's just so close, and he just walks up now to the view screen, and he's just going, sort of really forlornly, just put his hand on it there, and you can see in the background, how could this happen to me?
Treasure, can you hear me?
Pretty much.
Treasure, can you see me?
He's just looking at this, seeing the waves go around this planet, and just. Wait a minute. It's something that sort of clicks with him. The entire planet is Latin.
It appears so.
That doesn't.
Or at least on the
doesn't-
surface.
That doesn't make sense. You see,
Well,
something stops him. It's like Latinum doesn't form naturally like this. Why is it? why is this planet here? Something's not right.
Is the surface temperature high enough so that to keep the Latinum liquid?
Normally, no. Something. Wait, excuse me, you there? And he points to one of the things. Is this ship has some kind of? And he just happens to be pointing at Lieutenant Ricky. This ship has fancy scanners, doesn't it? And Ricky's just. Can we scan the Latinum from here to make sure it is actually Latinum? And not something else?
I'll do the scan.
Yes, you do that. And he's now looking at his planet with a... Something's not right.
Difficulty?
This is going to be a 4.
I'll spend the last of our momentum.
Yeah.
And I hope Brian rolls on the ship well too.
The reason why... I'll explain why this is a 4 afterwards. Okay. I'm going to take another threat.
Please.
What's the ship gonna roll?
Ship was doing sensors, so it's going to be sensors and science.
God damn it.
As you're scanning the ship, you do pick up that there's a structure, surprisingly big structure at the North Pole. But this Latinum seems to be flowing from it.
What?
It's like, yes, it's like, I thought so. As you read this, yes, of course. See, look, and look, he even goes on to get like, you see the Latinum? Yes. Now, when you got a planet that size, it doesn't have an atmosphere properly. Therefore, the Latinum would naturally bleed off into space. It's not doing that. Therefore, something's making it.
Unless the gravitational pull of the planet's core is high enough to keep it around the planet core.
Yes, you could do that, but even so, some of it will still naturally start to bleed off. It hasn't done that. And you get the impression that the amount of time that, shall we say, Damon Lux has spent on his own, he's been reading up on a lot of things, especially replicator technology.
Tira says this out loud. I'm probably regretting this, but Captain, permission to beam a small away team together with a Damon down into that structure.
That sounds like a very good idea. I'm going to get the Damocles to, how shall I say it, keep a close lock on you, because if that is, as the Damon suggests, artificially made Latinum, I want to know what the hell's making it. So, we're gonna skip all the usual shenanigans that happens on the way. Is there anything in particular before you got beamed down you want to particularly bring with you?
Do we need the EVA suits?
You are deciding. You are the head of the EVA team. You decide what you want to do.
Yeah, the question is there a breathable atmosphere or not?
Oh yes, there is a breathable atmosphere. It's slightly different to what is on board Damocles, but it's well within tolerable ranges.
Is there any dangerous radiation?
Not that you can tell.
Okay, then we don't need
the
to...
Latinum is, I'm going to say Latinum is a mask, but obviously because you had that complication as well, it's you're not picking up any major radiation spikes, but likewise you're not... It's difficult to say. The Latinum is messing with the sensors a little bit.
Yeah, but there's probably nothing the doctor could treat easily or the transporter could filter out.
Exactly. There's nothing to sort of... the preliminary scans, there's nothing to say, warning, you're going to get in trouble if you go here, but it's not to say there might not be something.
And besides her normal phaser, Tira specifically takes a scientific tricorder.
Okay.
I'm going to bring an empty vial of some sort.
How big, roughly?
I don't know, like 100 bricks worth.
Okay. Bear in mind, the way Latinum works is, because if people don't know, is it's generally pressed with gold. Hence the name gold pressed Latinum. Gold in itself is practically worthless in the Star Trek universe, but Latinum is a very sought after liquid. But liquids are difficult to transport, which is why they use the gold pressed thing. And even 1 drop of Latinum is probably the equivalent in today's money of about $1,000, to give you a rough idea. If the Federation used credits, just gives us a idea, just so people got a reference of how rich this planet is.
Yeah, but we are in a communistic society who don't need money.
I know, but the people who are watching this do. So it's to give an idea of scale. So even like a small, like a vial that's like about, say, that's going to probably have about $100,000 worth of Latinum, if it's about that size.
Yeah. We get to see a little liquid Latinum in Deep Space Nine, and I would say there's like a half cup of liquid coming out of Morn's stomach, and Quark says that's 100 bricks worth, so...
That's probably... if we use, again, say it's about that, it's
like 16 ounces, so... No, it's like 4 ounces, so... 12 milliliters, I think.
Okay, so this is going to be... if it's... Because it's, from what you can tell, seems to be pure Latinum as well. That makes it... it's a higher quality. It's just this artificial. So
I'm just going to bring an empty standard Federation water flask.
Okay, let's just make it a nice round $1 million worth.
Dope.
Just to sort of give an idea of the scale.
I might not get any, but I'm bringing the thing.
Rather than faffing around trying to work out conversion rates, just call it a nice round $1 million in today's money worth of Latinum. However much that might be. So about
100,000 brick.
It's a lot. Yeah. You immediately materialise in a darkened, well, dark for your standards, Federation standards corridor. The air's got a bit of a funky smell to it, like it's been recycled many times, but it's not unpleasant. It's just, like when you go into a room that's not been aired for a long time, it's got that weird sort of musty type smell to it. But it's empty. This place is empty.
Hello?
There's a slight down the corridor, and this corridor is actually pretty much human sized. It's say for a person about sort of 6-7 foot tall. You see like where the control panels are, but they're all like the pictograms and the information panels. They're all in a language that seems familiar, but you can't quite put your finger on.
Does the tricorder scan says anything about the age?
Old.
That's specific.
No, it's as in that's basically as much as the tricorder can tell you. It's off the scale. Old.
Oh. Does the writing...
The limit of what the tricorder can scan, this is beyond.
Does the writing or the hieroglyphs or whatever has anything to do with Iconian?
Not that you don't recognise Iconian pictograms.
That's good news.
I mean, there's writing that looks like it may maybe something you recognise. It's just you can't quite put your finger on it. It's difficult to sort of say and describe it, but it's like if you saw an old, to use a real world term, it's like if you saw, say for example, Egyptian hieroglyphs, for example, and you seen translated into, say, English or German or in any other language, you can kind of see where the language comes from, but you can't quite understand it. But you feel like you can. It's like something you may have studied years and years ago, but you've now forgotten. It's familiar, yet alien at the same time.
I believe the last work would be here. What's not so fascinating?
It's Lux is just like looking around, going, "This place is. What is this place? I feel like I should recognise it.
Do you?
I don't, but at the same time, I feel like I should know this place. Or the writing on the wall, and he goes right up to you can see him looking at it going, I can almost understand this.
Is this Ferengi?
No, it's not Ferenginese, no. And he's really sort of looking at this right, like you can see him like straining, trying to figure out what it is. And as you're looking at the writing itself, Tira, you see it again. It looks almost Andorian.
Thank you for saying that. The penny just fell down.
Yes.
Do you allow Tira to get that? I don't want to take out the metagaming trouble here right now.
Yeah, no metagaming trouble. It's like Andreas knows what it is, but Tira doesn't.
Okay.
And we're back. Wacom. Sorry, Brian. Actually, this is a question for Brian. How much Bajoran would you say Wacom knows?
Not much. Like I doubt he would know. He could probably say a few. Like he could probably speak a little bit, but he's not reading. He doesn't read.
More, say like Federation standard sort of thing.
Yeah, whatever his parents spoke.
Okay, so yeah, it would be Federation standard then. I'm going to use the term English for want of a better term, but again, to you, this writing has it's like it's English, but it's garbled English, if that makes sense. You feel like you can almost understand it. It's in fact, this whole place feels familiar on a deep level.
Well, let's scan for any other Ferengi life science.
Okay, Terry, you got that? Was it the always on the lookout thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And as you're scanning, in the distance, you do see something go past the end of the corridor. Sort of.
Damon?
Almost Gollum-like.
Damon, how's your brother called again?
My brother. Do you want the polite way? Without taking his eyes off this like control panel, it's like, do you want the polite way of saying it or his proper name?
I want his name.
His name is Plux.
Lux and Plux.
Yes. And as you tell me, don't.
Imaginative parents.
My mother was a saint.
Of course she was. Plux, we are from the Federation Starship USS Damocles. We have your brother here and we are here to save you.
There's a sort of orangey hand comes around the corner. Yes.
Oh my god, he's gone full Gollum.
Yes, precious. I had to sneak a Lord of the Ring reference in somewhere at some point in time. And this is it. Yes, I'm channeling my inner Gollum. I don't care. This is my game, and I'm doing this. Yeah.
Plux, please come to us.
You want it, don't you?
Honestly, no, we just want you and your brother to get to safety.
I have no brother.
Ouch.
He's
Low
dead.
blow.
And so, brother, why are you naked? And you notice this Ferengi is butt naked. He is slowly coming towards you now. But something else you also notice about him, apart from the fact that he is El Natural, his skin has a very slightly silvery tint to it.
I look him up and down, and I'm like, well, it's a good thing your sexual organs are in your ear.
He looks at you and goes, "Ah, you are... What are you? You come to steal it, didn't you? You come to take it from me. I want to
No,
kill
we will help you to get it from you, but first we must see it to know how to transport it.
Ah, yes. You come to... Yes, this way. And he golems down the corridor, full on his knuckles. And before you go anything, you just feel this small arm, Tira, on your sorry, the small hand on your arm. We need to be very careful. And Lux is
Of
talking
course we
very
are.
calmly now. I never thought I'd ever see this. I didn't even think it was possible.
What, that a Ferengi can go crazy with greed?
No, this is... I've heard rumours of this, but I've never seen it. He has
What
latinum
rumours?
poisoning. There's a reason why latinum is quite often used in its raw state, and I believe that if ingested, it could make, especially some species' hair fall out. But constant exposure to it has been... He must have been bathing in this stuff.
Tira to Damocles.
Damocles here the signal as it comes through is a bit garbled, but it's all passes. Like every so often it'll be like every other word will like cut out kind of thing.
Please tell our esteemed doctor that when we come back, we need at least one treatment of severe Latinum poisoning.
I'm sorry, what? That's actually real? How much latinum would you need to be?
Trust me,
He's on a planet full of the stuff, of course. Very well, I'll let the EMH know.
and we follow Gollum very carefully.
I love how Gollum is now a verb.
Well, it's the perfect description of what he's doing.
It's a Ferengi word for something like plugs.
He's not really standing up straight. He is going around like Gollum does. He's sort of semi-knuckling. He's quite emaciated as well, even for Ferengi who are naturally sort of slender. This guy is skinny as hell. Really is. And he's just like, yes, you come to take it with you, yes. Yes, to
We want to help you to get all the riches back to Ferengi now, so that you can become the Grand Narcos.
yes, good. The divine treasure has sent you, bless him. Yes, this way. And again, you see as he's gone in, again, for want of a better word, down the corner, you see actually there is small little pools of liquid latinum where he's been standing. They're not massive puns, but like little drops, as if like, to use the human equivalent, it's like he's just got out of the shower.
I don't step into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, carefully avoid stepping in the puddles of Latinum.
They're not big puddles, they're like little drops kind of thing, but you can see that as soon as he sees the drops, Lux immediately starts to go towards it, and then
No.
he just pulls back. Before you even say it, it's just no. Again, his eyes just keep flicking to this place is starting to give me the heebie-jeebies. We need to get out of here. I don't like it. It's like I've been here before, and the longer I stay here, the stronger this feeling is getting.
We will first get to the bottom of this and see if we can help your brother, and we'll see if he can turn this of whatever produces this Latinum. This planet is too dangerous otherwise.
Indeed, it's... If this is what I think it is, I think that will be worth more than the Latinum that surrounds it. Please tell me I hope I'm wrong. And he's got, even for a Ferengi, he's gone unusually pensive with this.
I'm gonna let Lux go in front of us, and I'm gonna follow him, but on the side, I'm gonna, Lieutenant, I sort of feel the same thing as if I've been here before.
Yeah, there's Andorian like writing on the walls. I know what you mean, but
Yeah, also that when you looked at it, it looked nothing like Andorian to you. It looked more like English, and then obviously vice versa.
But I want to know what's going on, so
For sure.
if you want, you can beam. If you're feeling too uncomfortable, you can beam back together with a diamond.
Yeah, you see at the end of the corridor, he's going this way, this way, this way. You can speak to her. Yes, she will help you.
No, I'm in this for the long haul.
Good to know. Hopefully, I won't have to haul you very long.
It doesn't take long for you to get.
I should walk away from that. Leave the jokes to Davrin.
Sorry, I just made myself laugh. You get into. So this corridor doesn't take you that long. It seems like the area that you arrived in seemed to be like not so much a waiting room, but definitely a non-important area. Let's just say that it just seems to be like a maintenance corridor, and as you're going around, you can actually see that there's this familiar feeling of you should know this. You should know where you are. It's getting stronger. You can see that you're almost picking up on certain words. It's like we get used. It's like the mental equivalent of when you see something out in the corner of your eye, but then as soon as you focus on it, that feeling goes away. It's not like it's resisting, but it's a really weird sensation. Eventually, you do get to what is obviously a control room, and this room is probably about 200 meters across. It's big. There's quite a few what look like desks, control platforms, but in the middle is a small, approximately 2, maybe 3 meters across dais, column type thing. Plux then points to it and says, yes, she can help us, yes. You will take us back to Ferengi. She will help. Speak to her. She will help you.
Hello?
As you speak, a form starts to materialize on the dais. Approximately 7 foot tall, bald-headed, white-robed, looks almost like a founder. Greetings, child. How may I help you? And the feminine-looking creature standing before you just bounds.
Oh, I get it.
You know you got it. You know you
I get it.
Yeah, okay.
I got it.
As she speaks, Tira, you realise she is speaking not through the universal translator, but in Andorian. Wacom, to you she is speaking perfect Federation standard. Multiple children have arrived. This pleases me.
We seek knowledge.
Your presence is acknowledged, Andorian.
What is this place?
This is the Grand Forge. And she just looks around.
Does it mean it can also produce other metals besides Latinum?
We can produce whatever we desire if we have the power. Something that our systems are running rather low on. It seems... and she's just sort of... It seems that when my Ferengi friend here, she indicates Flux, first arrived, I took his request rather literally.
Do you have any security protocols installed to keep this forge from being misused?
That would be me.
Do you have a self-destruct program?
I do.
Can you initiate it?
Not right
Immediately after we beamed away from this planet.
Unfortunately, I cannot.
What do you need to do that?
My power systems are running now on emergency battery backup. I can maintain this control room and a minor replicators for food substances for another 10,000 years. But that is all.
So, what do you need to initiate the self-destruct?
Unfortunately, the Latinum has caused problems across the entire planet.
I can imagine.
Really?
She just gives you a letter to say, it's... it
I
has
wonder why.
caused problems. If I had a new power supply, the Latinum could be reconverted into other materials. Even the self-destruct could be initiated if it is, I believe it is truly prudent to do so.
What kind of power supply?
She waves her hand and points towards what looks like a view screen. One of a symbol pops up. Now you know this is not the symbol you are seeing, but Wacom and Tira, you both see the same symbol, Omega.
Isn't that the Greek symbol for the N?
It's also the symbol for the most volatile and dangerous element in the universe.
Only for you younger races. We perfected Omega technology before we even seeded your worlds.
Can I put you on hold for a second?
Of course. And she just stands up straight like a Vulcan.
Tricorder starts playing like music.
Tira to Damocles.
Yeah, you're breaking up that.
Can you boost our signal? So that we can talk normally with... And I'm asking the AI.
Oh, sorry, it's 1 moment. Signal boosted.
Thank you.
And she goes back to her Vulcan pose. Hello? Hello? Oh, blimey, that's a clear
Do
signal.
you hear us now?
Blimey, it's like you're in the same room. That's incredible.
Perfect. We've got an issue here.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We have found an extremely very old replicator called the Forge that can create anything, even immense amounts of Latinum. And the foolish Ferengi has tinkered with it so that the entire planet is now covered with Latinum.
As you're saying that, Foolish Ring is going, yes, mine, my Latinum, yes. As he's like waving his hand about, small drops of liquid Latinum are flinging everywhere all over the place.
And while this can be entirely useful and is a great scientific and archaeological find, I would like to just
archaeological. How old is this place?
off the shards.
How old?
The tricorder didn't tell me it's so old.
Show me.
With the tricorder, I sent a video call picture thing.
Yeah, it's really sort of. It's you hear. Yeah. A sort of slight chuckle come. It's like, so Picard got the message. I find their technology. And the captain starts laughing.
Jesus.
Like
What a self-serving piece.
A little explanation, please, Captain.
You didn't read. Oh no, you probably didn't. There was an incident before the Dominion War. Jean-Luc Picard, a couple of Cardassians, some Klingons, basically found a genetic message from a race calling themselves the Precursors, I believe. And you can see that Damon's like looking and going, I'm sorry, what?
Just listen, Damon.
Plux is just pretty much like scratching himself full goblin at this point. And the captain continues. That, yes, it turns out that billions of years ago, the first race, that's what some refer to as the Precursors, seeded the entire galaxy with DNA of their own. They were the only ones. It's apparently led to the development of the Klingons, the Bajorans, the Andorians, the Trell, even the Ferengi. It's apparently they were the original creator species, for want of a better term. And we never actually found any of their technology until now.
Yes, and this technology is very dangerous, especially with Bendrazi.
Yes.
Oh, so I would like to destroy it.
Tira, please at least give me one moment to enjoy this before you rain on my parade, please.
Yes, Captain.
And it's like there's a pause where you can see it's like, yes, just one moment. Okay, as you were saying.
I would like to destroy the whole thing.
Normally I would agree with you, Tira, but this, I am going to have to say no to this one.
If it would be any other captain, I would say yes, sir, but care to explain, Captain?
This is a resource.
Yes. And imagine and if it falls into false hand?
But what about ours? What about the Federation's? Why do we have to keep destroying advanced technology for once?
We are in Dominion space, Captain.
Well, technically we belong to the Dominion. Give it back to them. Give them a fighting chance against the Bendrazi.
It's a Dominion, resources. Captain.
It's like, okay. You do realise there's one small problem with your plan. Say I do agree to it, Tira.
How? The question is how?
Exactly. If this is truly precursor technology, even our strongest torpedo is not even going to make a dent in it.
I have an idea, Captain. An idea that doesn't get me another mark for insubordination, but also calms my mind. Can I put you on hold?
Very well. So I suppose you call it the interface, for want of a better term, is still standing in the Vulcan pose, not moving, not even blinking.
dear machine, dear forge, dear, how do I call you?
Forge is acceptable.
Okay, forge.
How can I
I'm
help
guessing your creators put some security measures into while building
you
you.
are absolutely correct.
So how does how could we convince you to only access certain people?
Ah, yes, I did. I didn't. Whilst I was boosting your signal, I will admit a small confession. And she's just, I was listening in, even though I was not moving. It's unfortunately part of the process of boosting the signal. But there are
That's no problem. We're all friends here at the moment.
there are things I can do. However, they do require power, and this is something I am. And again, she indicates the omega symbol. That is something I am quite low on. Not enough to not be able to defend myself, but to reconvert this Latinum into base materials and anything else would require, and again she indicates.
There's a group called the Bandrazi.
We are aware of them.
Can you make sure they don't use you?
Of course.
Can you also make sure that a group called the Dominion doesn't use you for any military purposes?
Dominion. Oh yes. I remember them. Cute, very little creatures they were to begin with. It was an interesting experiment, giving them liquid forms. And there was a... Even though I'm sorry, but I am a living receptacle of what you would call precursor technology. I contain all of their knowledge.
Can I put you on hold?
Of course. Yes, Tara, what have you found?
The forge can defend itself.
Excellent. That is good to know.
The forge, we could convince the forge to keep the Pendradia itself from help.
Even better. Wait. You're talking.
Yeah, I'm talking to the forge.
Okay.
AI thingy.
You can mention. You can, even though all you can hear is his voice, you can almost imagine him going.
Also, I think we can convince the forge to keep the Dominion away from using it in any military purposes.
Well, if I remember correctly, from what I read about the precursors, they were not exactly a militaristic race.
Yeah, but even if we would share that information with the Dominion, we should make sure that they don't use it against us in any aggressive way.
Somebody somewhere would find a way of weaponizing this technology.
Exactly. But here's the thing.
Yes.
The Forge has access to all the precursor knowledge.
Nice. You hear a slight thud over the comms. There's a brief pause. Like, I'm terribly sorry, Tira. I think I just fainted. Did you just say
All the precursor knowledge.
That's a lot of knowledge.
I think I broke all.
You just hear the distance.
I broke the Ferengi, you broke the captain. It's
Captain,
good day.
are you okay? Right. So I'm assuming that plan about wanting to blow up this. Yes. I'm going to have to veto that blow up pan. It's
I think I am agreeing with you now, Captain.
yes. It's I think that part of me wants to beam down, but oh God, I wish Davin was here.
Whilst this is happening, I'm trying to fill up the canteen with like a liquid Latin.
Oh, there's what you can see. There is actually in one corner. Well, I say corner. It's one sort of side of the control room. There is an indentation, and it looks like it's filled up with latinum. And you can see as you look on the floor, there is a trail that leads to it, and it looks like that's where he's been having his baths in latinum.
So here's
I take some anyway.
Here's the problem, Captain. The forge needs energy. The energy it gets from omega particles.
Stop. Lieutenant Tira, what I'm about to say goes no further. We shall have to have this discussion in private when you return. I will have to ask you to not say another word regarding the power source.
Yes, Captain.
I will explain when you return.
Yes, Captain.
Continue.
My idea was again something that our esteemed Romulan guest said.
What's that?
Starfleet ships have powerhouses that have more power than they actually need.
Oh yes, especially our warships. It's
What if we rig up something to give maybe for the forge is no problem. It has energy for another 1,000 years to run basic programs, but to build enough defenses to be misused or be used in any militaristic way, we should giving him access to alternative source of energy, so that run maybe for 5 or 10 years to build these defenses, like dilithium crystals or another antimatter chamber.
I see. Enough to just to give the
kickstart. Yeah.
Yes. One moment. I'm going to put you on hold now. I'm going to speak to our Romulan engineer.
Right. Do you need to do that now?
I can't help it. It's just an impulse.
But you don't need the Latinum, right?
You've got that thing is now pretty much filled up with Latinum, and it's like, and Plux is now he's going up to his brother and it's just like, yes, hi. It's like he's flicking his ears like, stop that, stop it. You can see they're basically acting like a couple of things. Like, he's like pushing him, and this is your bloody fault. Yes, treasure, Latinum, puff. It's like, and every time he moves his hands, small little drops of liquid latinum go flying off. So one hits you in the back of the head, Tira. Not a major amount, but enough to sort of. You've just been hit with probably about 50 grams worth of latinum. So.
I need a shower after that.
And it goes, oh yes. And you start trying to scrape it off your hand.
Stop that!
Man.
Yeah, all the Latinum is here, sure.
Yes, all right. But we break it, yes. We go back to Ferengina. Sorry. Forge. May I speak?
Of course.
Your idea has merit. It pleases me to see our children working together. And she points to Andorra. Tell me, where are you from?
We are from.
So this is Chris saying this. So I just realised she does kind of know where you're from. It's like, what is it like where you're from? So.
Peaceful, actually.
What?
The we are part of a federation, a united federation of planets that counts lots of different species, lots of children, if you might say so, working together and cherishing the individualities and differences.
As
in
you
a
mentioned the
pe-
children, she just puts her hands together like and there's a big smile that comes across her face as if to say, "Good."
Working together to explore the galaxy and humanoid conditions, and we even made peace with more aggressive species like the Romulans or the Klingons, and we are now, even if they are still a bit struggling, the Alpha and Beta Quadrant are now basically in peace, and we are the first joint mission with the Dominion to further extend that peace, hopefully, eventually.
This is this big grin on her face. Like, when we seeded the galaxy with, and she just indicates, it was always with hope that you would come together in peace. Our technology was never about destruction like your ship in orbit. But we understand that among you, lesser is the wrong choice of words, younger species, you are maturing slowly. Not as fast as we'd like, but you are getting there. Soon. Soon you will be as it should be, as we intended when we started our grand experiment all those years ago. It honestly, it pleases me in a way that I cannot put into words to see you here before me.
And since we have come so far already, would you gift us with your knowledge, with your database?
One moment. You may wish to alert your ship. I am about to perform a scan. This is...
Tira to Ricky?
What is it, Tara?
Don't do any jump scares or anything, the Forge will scan you now.
Okay. And she just gives you a slight nod, and you can see that there's a brief flicker on one of the consoles, and what you now recognise to be the power level does drop very, very slightly. I have scanned your ship, and curious. You do have many life forms aboard. A Romulan. A photonic life form. Curious. Even... there appears to also be a small tribble on board.
I look at...
It is not pregnant, it is sterile.
I look at Rackham. Don't tell anyone about that.
Curious ship. I am afraid that the information would not even begin to fit in your databanks. However, I would be more than happy to answer any questions you have. After all, that is my purpose. Yes. Take as much time as you need. Again, it's like, you see in the background the two Ferengi are basically, it's like you can see he's being dragged over to the Latinum. He's brought out something, he's testing it, holding it up to the light, and you can see him going. It's like as he's
So
scanning
many
it.
possible important questions.
Yes.
Do you know about the Iconians?
Of course, they were the first of our children.
Do you know about the Andromeda Galaxy?
We are aware of it.
Are the Iconians living in the Andromeda Galaxy now?
Of that, we have no information.
Okay.
Our sensors, unfortunately, are limited to the Forge and this planet, and a little bit beyond this nebula, but that is it. We were never a scientific outpost. We were a place of construction, of life, of creation.
Do you have any? So you won't probably doesn't have any information about Iconian technologies.
That is not something we possess, but we do know of our firstborn. We know what they had the capability of becoming. We know their strengths, we know their weaknesses.
Can you share
At
this?
the time of creation.
It would be a start. I mean, often to know where something starts is vital information. So,
Indeed.
can
Do
you?
you wish to see
Can
their
you?
genome?
I would love to, and I would also copy all the data you have on the Iconians for our own database.
That would be a lot, by your standards.
I mean, we
Might
should
say
have the hard drive space for that on the ship.
you do not. They are. The information is. Well, let's just say this. I'll allow you to have the. This is Chris speaking. I'll allow you to have the Iconian DNA scanned, and you realise that even that is simple. It's not just the DNA it's recording. It's recording all the potential offshoots from that DNA, the process itself that went into creating it. Even just a simple scan is practically just almost overloads your tricorder, and it's just their genome. This thing is practically straining to contain this data. There's just so much of it, even just like one quick zzz.
One last question. Do you have any knowledge about Iconian technology?
We can extrapolate from how we created them, but we do not have exact information. We can give pointers, but
then I'm asking for just one pointer. The Iconian used a technology unknown and barely comprehensible for us at our current state of technological evolution, about a series of gates that could basically bring you anywhere in the galaxy and even to the Andromeda galaxy. This technology could this technology have an exploitable weakness to destroy easy?
one moment, extrapolating. Yes, this is certainly possible. The exact information we would not be able to tell you because we would need to have access to current Iconian technology. But if you was to bring us, we could identify their technology for weaknesses. But I do have one request.
Of course.
Whatever information we give you, it is not to be used as a weapon.
How about it is to be used to prevent a war where millions of people could lose their lives?
That is acceptable. We do not like to see our children fight, especially our firstborn. They were both our greatest creation and our greatest failure.
You already said that you know about the Bendrazi.
They have passed through this system a couple of times.
We have informations that, and I look at the Ferengi.
Yeah, he's pretty much the other ones now. They're both getting into the what do you call it? The Latin bath now. It's like, yes, this is quite marvelous. Yes, and it seems like he's getting like a.
So they aren't listening.
And he's scrubbing himself.
They are way too occupied to listen to hear anything of what I'm not saying.
They don't care.
The Bendrazi will find an Iconian gate to the Andromeda Galaxy, and they will come back with weapons of mass destruction, and they will practically wipe out any species in the Gamma, Beta, and Alpha quadrant in a war of destruction.
As you're saying that, you get this sort of prickly sensation in your newly regenerated antenna. You're being scanned as you say this.
Yeah, let's have scan.
This is quite a powerful scan to the fact that you're able to detect it in your antenna.
Mm-hmm.
You are telling us the truth as you see it. Very well.
And we need to stop them.
I will make a deal, a trade with you, if this is acceptable, my child.
Of course.
If you are able to bring us Iconian technology, we will work on providing you a way of disabling it, or at the very least, turning it off.
Thank you.
But we will not partake in destruction.
Of course.
Very well. Bring us the Iconian technology. Oh, you need to go. Okay. Yeah.
No. This is raw, like delicately not wanting to speak, but like trying to get, trying to ask a question in the background, like,
yeah.
It's like,
feel free to do this.
It's like,
well, he doesn't want to interrupt.
Okay. So it's she does make eye contact with you and it's like the sort of puts the fingers to say, 1 moment. Like, very well. Bring us the Iconian technology. We will study it, and we will provide you with a solution to at least disable it temporarily.
Thank you.
Or we will attempt to. Yes, Bajoran.
Raw, thanks. What about the species in the galaxy that aren't your children, like the Q or the Prophet?
As you say the Q, it's like the Q. Curious. And the prophets, you say?
Yeah, they inhabit a wormhole between the Alpha and Beta quadrant, or Alpha and Gamma.
We have had dealings with them in the past. And as she's looking at you, it's like, it looks like you have as well.
Well, we all have. We've gone through that wormhole. That's how we got to this side of the galaxy.
Deeper.
And
sure.
Just look at very interesting.
Very curious look, because like,
yeah, and the other non, what we would consider to be humanoid species, like or those little parasitic things, or the Undine.
Those, whilst not our children, they are still part of the galaxy. We would not want to see them wiped out. Every species in this universe has its purpose.
I definitely wasn't suggesting in any way getting rid of them.
We were just lucky enough to be the first. And the Iconians were the first of our children. And then she points to you lot again. Continue.
I was just curious as to, how they came about, naturally from another galaxy.
We would need to study them to be further from it. We would need to study them to be sure.
Can Raw will turn to Tira. Okay. Can we download the databanks on Tholian and Undine records for them to study?
I don't think it works that way with a comfortable report. It almost wrecked my recorder only to get Iconian DNA. I don't think we can access it the other way around.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
I get to slightly out of character, but it's like the equivalent of trying to run this stream on the same software that launched the Apollo program to the moon. That's in terms of like, you know, but imagine that way more complicated. There's just no way your technology could handle it. It's too advanced. It's not compatible.
So, Captain?
Oh, we're back. Okay. Sorry, I was just really listening to that marvelous conversation you were having. It's fascinating.
Do you have a solution for our energy problem?
I spoke to Vex, and well, she basically agreed. We could use one of our. We'd have to take it out of one of the shuttles, a small warp core. It wouldn't be particularly marvellous, but it'd be enough to kind of hopefully jump-start things. We'd have to stay in orbit here for probably about, well, it's to give the eventing time to catch up with us, let's just say that, but it's certainly something doable.
Do you agree on this, Forge?
So I didn't catch that.
Do you agree on this, Forge?
That is acceptable. And Captain Prua, if you would be so kind, perhaps you would like to beam down and ask me some questions as well. And he was like, how did you? Well, when I scanned your ship earlier, I picked up on your data records as much as I could. I am sorting through it now. It is taking longer than I anticipated due to my power system issues, but I am slowly learning about you. Curious ship design. Very inefficient.
You said, what did you call our ship again?
Inefficient.
But elegant.
If you wouldn't,
As you said, it gives you the sort of smile a parent would when it's like a kid's just giving you a drawing. Now this drawing is crap. Okay, this drawing is really bad crayon drawings. The sort of thing you say, yes, that's very nice. I'll just put it on the fridge. It's that kind of. They're trying not to be patronising, but that's creeping into their voice. It's just like, of course it is.
Clearly, a sense of style was developed later in
It's just like, we have no need of starships.
Wacom is slightly offended.
Like, but you young children and your starships.
it's a mighty fine ship.
Of course it is. Of course, I believe it is, honestly. But I've just seen what the time is, and I'm starting to overheat a little bit, so I'm going to speed things up and cut to the chase, as it were. The EMH sends down a care package for Tira because he's still having to keep a close eye on the Tolek. The captain brings it down, and he spends ages just talking to Forge. There's soon as a few like the archaeologists and amateurs on board catch wind of this, what's going on the surface, there's pretty much a fight to come down, but the captain declares that only one person at a time is allowed to beam down, and being the captain, he exercises his privilege to be the first. So, going to end things. Slight epilogue. So, what are you two guys doing in the meantime? It's going to be what you're doing over the next week or so, whilst the Eventine does whatever she's doing and then brings Catherine back, because I know what course you were taking. So let's start with Wacom. What are you going to be doing over the next sort of week or so?
So I divide the Latinum that I collected between myself and Davrin and Tolek and Tira and Ricky and the cat.
So that's what, 6 people?
6 people, yeah. So I divide it into 6, and just as a little, little on the side. Hey, we got some spending.
I mean, this is like it's almost, well, in fact it is pure Latinum. It's not like even slightly contaminated in any way. This is the grade A stuff. You literally could not get better Latinum anywhere. In essence, it's perfect, but it is still very slightly poisonous by its very nature. Especially
right, and I put them in little spherical containers, so like they're little balls of. I paint little stars on them, so they're little Dragon Balls of platinum walking through the hallway.
I was gonna say no crossing the streams, but I've done that already, so it's I can't say anything about that.
Yeah, so I just deliver them to everyone.
That's the thing. In a container, it's perfectly safe. It's just if you in skin contact with this stuff for multiple years, you're gonna get poisoned by it. But I mean, if you ingest this stuff, it's gonna make all your hair fall out. So it's when you present your little gift to the captain, he is very appreciative of it, and because he realised that this is replicated from precursor technology, and he's just like sitting there going, it's like sitting on his desk now, kind of thing. Not the way like the Cisco has.
It's his baseball.
He has this little. It's kind of. I'm not gonna say it's a Dragon Ball. No, but it is sort of like an amber material that the system replicated. It's got like a little hinge and a lock on it, so you can't accidentally open it. And you've even tested it. This thing it will not open unless you deliberately desire it to open. You can throw it, you can smash it. Hell, this stuff's even phaser proof, and it will not open until you click. No, it's precursor tech. It's only a little, but it's it's practically indestructible little container. So
awesome.
That's all yay big.
Yeah, and I give Ricky one, just to say sorry for creeping him out all the time, and tell him I expect more. I'm not gonna stop. So this is compensation for future transgression.
It just looks at it and it's like, the game's on, is it? It just puts it down. It's like, and the funny thing is, it's even if the ship moves, the ball stays relatively still. It's like if it's placed down, it will stay there.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all it can do. It's it's designed not to fall over, not be destroyed. That's all it does. But Ricky's like, okay, the game is on.
Yeah, I give one to Tolek while he's in the infirmary.
Okay.
And
it's the EMH takes it on his behalf as he's lying in the dermal regenerators across his face. Fortunately, Mr. Tolek cannot move right now, but I will give him your gift once he is able to be moved.
Thank you. I fully trust the EMH. He does know.
He's cantankerous, he's rude, he's sarcastic and arrogant, but he's still, in his own way, a decent person. He just knows he's the most medically blessed person in the room because he is.
Davrin's is like in a little gift box in his quarters.
Cool. Easy enough done. Yeah.
On a surface that's close to the door, so I don't disrespect his privacy by.
I would say as you are temporarily given access to put the gift in, you see Davrin's quarters are pretty nice compared to even yours. They are worthy of a first officer. Very big bed.
Nice.
Very big bed. Okay.
Is it a Riker-sized bed?
Oh, it is a Riker-sized bed. Yeah, mate. You're not entirely sure, but there may even be a mirrored ceiling, or that may have just been the reflection. That may have been the reflection of the Latinum. You don't know. You through the window. You're not entirely
Gross.
sure. You didn't stay in there long enough to find out.
Yeah, I was like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, and away. Tira.
And then I present one to Tira.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Tira, what are you up to?
So, thank you. And are we alone now at the moment?
We can be. I could
Yep.
give it to you in your quarters. It's fine.
So, the prophets, huh?
Wormhole aliens. Yeah. Pretty weird, aren't they?
Totally, yeah. You have to tell me someday over a drink.
As soon as you tell me all about your adventures with the Q. Yeah.
Deal. But I think I have to see the captain now. He wanted to speak to me very quickly about something. And on my way to... I will hold up to you on the drink, and then we talk about Q and prophets.
Okay.
On my way to the captain,
Okay.
I make a little tea tour to Damon Luck's quarters.
Yeah, he very reluctantly left the planet, but he's realised that he's, even from just like what he picked up in the pool, he's got enough latinum to.
Oh, we didn't let him keep anything of that.
Oh, he.
Poor Lux.
Let's just say he's hidden some somewhere.
Okay.
Prison wallet.
Yep. You have to really investigate to find that particular. It's not a huge amount, but it's like a little sort of like thimble size. But it's enough that he can hide it, if you know what I'm saying.
Do it, Damon.
Do what?
Can I come in?
Yes.
I have one last trade offer for you.
What is it?
And I take out the Pokeball
Okay. Oh,
of Latinum,
his eyes just go.
filled with it.
Yeah, this stuff's filled with, and you can see he's like thinking about something. He's like, "There's a lot more than what I got off the planet." I mean,
You get this one if you don't tell anyone about this planet, about the Forge. If you keep it a secret for your life.
he's put his hand out. He's like, You can see that there's. Oh, we have a deal.
And I give him the ball.
And he just like. He starts like, yes.
May the great treasure bless you with many profits and many good deeds.
You see, it's like, you see, he's calculating. Like he's doing. Oh yes, I think he already has. Yes.
Not a word.
About what?
Exactly. And if I have friends, and if they will hunt you down and they will cut off your lobes.
Oh, don't worry. It's with this Latinum, I can buy many silence. Still haven't changed if they were to buy a small moon.
I think your ship home arrives in a few days.
Yes. Your captain was telling me the Aventine, isn't it? It's
Exactly.
yes.
It's a fast ship.
I've heard that it's a very fast ship. Yes.
And now I have to see my captain.
Of course.
Take care and I.
Bye bye. And he just closes the door in your face.
And I went to Captain Turtle's ready room.
This poor Ferengi is being threatened by everyone on the ship.
At least I pay him.
Yeah, you've done the deal. Okay.
I gave him 2 grubs. That's fine.
As you enter the captain's ready room, Tira?
Captain, you wanted to see me?
Yes. Could you engage privacy mode, please?
Of course.
And there's the tink, and you hear the distinctive clunk clunk as in fact the captain's ready room is now cut off from the rest of the ship. You need to be seated.
I sit down.
Normally this would be for Davin. I will brief him about this when he returns. But I need to speak to you about the Omega Protocol. And that's when we're going to end it.
Okay.
And it's probably it's going to end the episode because I'm really starting to get this heat's starting to burn up a little bit, and the cat's going mental now, which is going a bit crazy. But anyway, thank you all very much for joining me tonight, despite the technical issues and shenanigans we had earlier. It's been
Sorry.
no, don't worry. I think everything happened tonight, short of the stream crashing. So it's oh god, it really has crashed, hasn't it? Yeah. Okay, you know what? I've just noticed what's happened on the screen, so I'm just going to end things now because this really has gone belly up right now, technically speaking. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have a look at everything, try and fix it. So I'm just going to say, live long and prosper, and hopefully see you soon. Bye bye.